Greetings and welcome, dear fellow guest, to the Excel Italian Cooking. Get into the art of Italian cooking from and narrated by Excel Cooking. Opening. Yes, we're open. Please come on in. First of all, we would like to take this time to get you properly acquainted with us. Now, this might not be what you expect like most cooking guides out there because, naturally, there is no way we can cover every dish under the sun. Our approach is not to overwhelm you with choices, but rather give you the finest options available to choose from to get your feet wet. Don't be surprised if they're not the most common food items that you think of, since we're going for a more authentic route. These recipes were specifically chosen for a reason, to give you real, hands-on experience. Each cuisine requires different cooking techniques and methods, and the goal is for you to build that foundation to the point where you can customize and tweak the selections however you like for more intricate, fancy dishes. More importantly, rather than simply knowing how to cook, it's about understanding the cultural practice and the handling of the food itself to really excel in this particular area of cooking. We recommend that you at least attempt all the dishes if you can. Enjoy your meal. Starters. Renaissance Italy culture. When you think of Rome, what comes to mind? Most people have the perceived notion of a mysterious and ancient world filled with structures such as the Colosseum, the Sistine Chapel, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa, among a few others that the general populace is familiar with. These are all pretty great and grand, just like the arts that came about during the Renaissance. On the subject of art, popular names like Da Vinci or Michelangelo are more than likely to also be a part of most people's idea of this prestigious land. For those with more religious or spiritual leanings, the Vatican and the Pope may also be included in that perception. Each of these is a part of a huge swath of things that could pop into one's head when they talk of Italy and its place both in the world and in history. These days, it still clings to its legacy of greatness, even with its crowded streets and narrow buildings, both set to the backdrop of a rich and diverse culture that is unceasing in the way it continues to blossom. Although, one must wonder, what do the people of this fantastic European country eat? One of the best ways, and it's certainly cheaper than the cost of a passport, plane ticket, and hotel, that one can experience an exotic or foreign place is to take a tour of it through the cuisine it has to offer. In fact, one can get a pretty good taste of it through the foods that embody its culture and people. It's like taking a small vacation at your very own dining table. Risorgimento Eatery History. According to historians, Italy didn't become a unified nation until around 1861 under Italian General Giuseppe Garibaldi. Because it was such a fragmented place throughout most of history, each region has its own sense of diversity, particularly when it comes to the dishes that follow. Interestingly, even though the meals are, for the most part, basically the same, each region in the country will put a different spin on them by spicing them up with one or two deviations. It's kind of like how there are many variations of English out there between England, Ireland, Australia, or even in just the U.S. It's all the same language, but people will have a radically different approach depending on where they're from. So, just what is Italian food? For the most part, it's a style of cooking that brings just about everything to the table. This is a nation that is practically obsessed with food. In fact, one might say that Italians are the original foodies because of their passion for the culinary arts. Now, the average person might generally think of pizza and spaghetti, among other pastas, But Italian cooking has so much more to offer, including salads, soups, breads.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?